time to make the donuts. Well, a donut graph anyway. One of my favorite grad students, Lily, asked me to show her how to make a donut graph, and we're going to do it in Illustrator, and we're going to do it very quickly. So, first thing we're going to do is create a stroke that's going to give our donut graph some color. How am I going to do this? Well, I'm going to go over and I'm grab the rectangle tool. Bing! And I can over click once. And I'm going to set it up at a width of 100 pixels and a height of 50. That way I have 100, the 100 pixels in width will give me, think of it as 100%. So when we scale it, it'll always be equal. Say, OK. Now you'll notice that this has a white fill and a black stroke. I don't want the stroke, so I'll get rid of that. And I'm going to change the fill color. Now I'm going to fill, even though this is going to be the smallest slice of my donut, I'm going to fill it all with a gray, a basic gray. So I'll come over to my swatches, and because we're going to make this look like a pencil because it has to do with school numbers, so I'm going to go ahead and pick sort of a grayish color. Let's do that. Ooh, that's brown. That's not right. I need gray. Gray. There's some gray. I think I'll go with that gray. Nice gray. Now, that's, like I said, it's going to actually represent the smallest one. We're all done. So the numbers that we're going to use are that Arizona teachers spend about $485 outside of their own pocket for things as institutional supplies, school supplies, and other. Well, the thing they spend the most is $198 out of the $485 for institutional supplies. And when I did the math, that came out to 40.82%, but we're going to make it 41. So I'm just going to keep my rectangle tool. I'm going to click once, and I am going to change this to 41. I rounded it up because I didn't feel like screwing around with little numbers. And since this is going to be the top of the pencil, let's make it, let's make it pinky. How's that nice pink? We'll say okay, and then we'll change it to pink. A nice pink, that would be the eraser color. Although this is going to be a little more than the body, you'll get the gist. So I'm going to click on my black filled arrow. I'm going to drag it straight up here. I'm going to select both of them. And I'm going to go up here and pick the alignment. Now, if you don't see it, just open up the alignment window. It's right there. And I'm going to do left align. And I'm going to make sure that the top's aligned too, so it's perfectly together. That's the first one. The second one, I'm going to grab my rectangle again. I'm going to click it. Now, I said that the supplies were $149 of the total $485, which is 30.72, but I'm rounding it up to 31. So I'm not fooling around with those numbers. Say OK. Now this we'll use is that nice kind of yellowy pencil. You remember those number 2 pencils we used? Just kind of go that color. And I'll click my dark arrow and I'll drag this up. And first I'll align it to the top. Then I will work on, so we'll select them all. I'll align to the top. Now, as I drag this over, as soon as it touches, see how it says intersect? That's one of the great things about Illustrator, is because you can do things like that. So now I've got these. I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to go under Object, and I'm going to group them. Now they're all one piece. I'm going to select again, make sure they're all selected, close this. And up here where it says Basic, I'm going to click that, and we're going to create a new brush, bent piece of paper, and I want to use an art brush and say OK. You can name it. I'm not going to bother. Make sure that it's scaled to fit stroke length, so that means everything will scale. So the percentages will always be the same no matter how big we make it. And all that did was add this to my strokes. I can actually delete this now because I don't need it. Next thing, let's go over to where the rectangle is. Let's choose an ellipse and make ourselves a circle. If I hold the Option and the Shift key together and drag, I will make a circle from the inside out. And because my last fill color was that orange color, it's going to stay that way, but we don't really need that. So let's, and R stroke, everything selected. Under basic, choose this. Boom! Instant donut graph. Now, there's no legend on here. So it's up to you to decide to create a legend. Now you can put the legend on the right, the left, or even in the middle, or on the piece of donut. It's up to you. But that's how you make a proper donut graph. That's it. I'm done.